I'm Daniel Lefebvre. Welcome to Ruby on Rails. In this video, we're going to be talking about arrays and hashes. And to do that, we're going to create a simple Rails application. And then we're going to access our view and do some Rails embedded coding. All right, let's get started. Okay, to get started, let's just create a simple Rails application. Calling mine array test. And when that's done, we'll just change into the directory and we'll create a simple controller. Which we'll call welcome, with an index file of index. Then we will start our server and we'll do the rest of our work inside our text editor. Okay, now we can open our text editor. We'll open ArrayList, which is the app we just created. We'll open the app, the views, welcome, which is the controller we created, and index.html ERB, which is our file. And then we're going to just do some embedded Ruby inside this file in order to learn arrays and eventually hashes. Let's start by setting up some simple embedded Ruby, and we'll use our embedding tags. Now, the first concept we should probably talk about before talking directly about arrays are variables. So we can have a string, for example, and what a variable is just a space set aside in memory to store a piece of information that you'll want to use later. So I can set up a string that can contain my name. I can use a variable and store a number in it. The only real rule here with creating variables is that they need to start with a lowercase letter or an underscore. So we could say my variable like that, or usually, unless there's a special reason, you would just use a lowercase letter. Now what an array is a collection of variables. And it's an indexed collection. So we could say my array equals array. Do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and what we've just created is a 5-element array that will have the indexes of 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we can use those indexes to reference the value that's in there. For example, the second index or index 2 would contain the value of 6, where index 1 would contain 4 and index 0 would contain 2. To see this, we'll just do a simple output of the values. And we'll do index 2 in this case. And that should show us the value 6 on our screen. So we'll save this. And we'll load our web browser. We're going to go to our Rails application. Give that a second to load. And there we can see the value of 6. Now, if we used one of the different indexes, for example, we could use index 4, and index 4 should give us a value of 10. And there we have it. So again, these numbers are represented in our array with index values 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The more indexes we have, the longer the higher the number of indexes we'll be able to reference. We can find out how many are in an array by using the method length. And we can see 5 because we have 5 elements in our array. Similar to an array is a hash. And what a hash is, in some languages, referred to as a key indexed array. And what that means is you can use a string or a word to represent your value instead of a number, like you do in a numerically indexed array. So I'm going to create a new variable called my hash equals hash, and then we're just going to put some values in here and we'll see the difference. So we can say Jan equals January, and Feb February, and so on. We could do all of the months out like this, and then if we want to access the values in that hash, we could do my hash, and we'll simply reference Jan in this case. We'll save and reload. And we get a syntax error. And we get a syntax error because in this case I forgot to use my key assignment operator for February, and we'll just change that really quickly and save it. And that will reload. You can see now it output January, even though what we referenced was Jan. So we can use a word or a string. Actually, we can use any variable type, including arrays or other hashes in Ruby, in order to reference the value that's in our hash. This has been a simple introduction to arrays and hashes. I hope you learned a lot, and I look forward to seeing you next time.